Hey everybody, thank you for joining me today. So today's video, we're going to be, if you were in my live video on this past Sunday, we're going to be actually using two of the photos that I didn't use that day. I already have my paper laid out. We're going to be doing a side, um, with the on the side with the pattern paper, and then we're going to use some foam to put behind our photos, and then we're going to be doing some rub-ons that I've already kind of cut apart and figured out kind of where I'm going to lay them on the back of our black foundations paper. And right now I'm just using, I keep my red colored shears from Tim Holtz. I use them for my foam tape, and then I have a set that's in the black that I use for my paper cutting and stuff like that. So we're gonna wind up putting these like this, and then we'll also grab some items from the die cuts to kind of put around on the pattern paper side. But the fun part is we're going to be using the irresistibles on the black paper side to create the embossed look, but using, the irresistible. So usually with those, you use ink to bring them out, but on the darker colored paper, you're not going to have to use inks because it's going to show up as basically like white on your background. It'll be cool. You'll see in a second. So I'm just attaching our pattern paper there, and now I'm gonna lay down where I want that to go, and then start doing some of the rub-ons. And I'm using one of the plastic um, little folder, like almost like a little mini bone folder that they used to give you with all your rub-ons. I have a big collection, needless to say, and so that's what I'm using to rub everything down. And on this one, I do have to go over it a few times. And then, like, even as I'm lifting it up, I was double checking to make sure that nothing was left by accident. But I really like these irresistibles. And I feel like if you don't want to necessarily have to, like, use ink to pop them out, then on your colored cardstocks, you can just use them as an additional layer or, interesting peekaboo elements on your layouts or even on your cards. Now, this one, when I went to go do it on the left or the right hand side, there was one little piece that just was not cooperating. And as I start to lift it up, you're going to see I'm going to keep like trying to rub it in. And for whatever reason, it wouldn't work. So I wind up having to give up on that. And that little piece just didn't stay down. And I guess, oh well. I didn't realize how often I was trying to get it. But it just would not come off, no matter how hard I was pressing down. So I just take it off. I'm like, forget it. It'll just have a little missing piece. And then this is a die cut. This is from their laser cuts. And I'm just gluing that down using my art glitter glue that's inside my glue press. And I liked having the embossed, version underneath, picking out from the chipboard because it's a really thin chipboard, but it just gives added texture to the layout. And now we're just gonna put this paper down. So all of our background, that's all I'm doing as far as like mixed media, if you want to say it's a mixed media. And then we're going to start playing with where we're going to place our cards. I think for the title, I'm going to create like a little cluster here over on the right. And it's a leaf with some tickets. I like this orange one with the black. I thought like, it went really well with this, with the papers and stuff that we're using. And we're going to put that on top of the little feather that we took off one of the die cut pieces. And then the title is going to be Eek. E-E-E-K. Which is kind of how I respond whenever I see spider webs. I'm like, eek. I get scared very easily. Now I have some of this, what's it called? It's like a black glitter. And I wanted to put this on the layout, but I only had this one piece. So I cut that piece into these small, like little, like less than a quarter of an inch. So almost like an eighth of an inch strips. And we're going to attach it to the layout there and create basically just a little bit of like interest. And then if it's any like open space, the photos will cover it basically. That's the way I was looking at it. And I'm just using my little tape runner. And then I also put glue going down the middle. And then we're going to attach it there. And if you have stuff like that where you only have like small pieces, if you can finagle it in the right way, sometimes you can make it look like you have one continuing piece because it's hiding beneath the, the photos or other elements on your card front or your scrapbook page. Go ahead and do that because it's, one, it uses up scraps that you may have, and two, it just adds a little bit of interest. You can't see how it was broken up because, like I said, the photos are covering it, and you get this great little element which adds sparkle and interest. Now these elements are also from the laser cuts. And they look like little tags with webs in them. So, of course, I was like, if not now, when? That's what I keep saying to myself a lot of times, especially when I'm using stuff in collections that I'm not sure when or how I would use it. I'm like, well, I might as well put it on this layout. You know what I mean? It only makes sense. Because if I'm not going to put it on this one, when am I going to do it again? I'm using a lot of webs on this. Might as well use them up. Now this one was on the sticker sheet. Now when I pulled it off, everything in the center came out with it. So I have to go through, what I'm doing is picking out all of the little bits that were like cut out of the web. And then it was going well, but then it was going slowly. Thank God I've sped this up and it's still taking a while. Do you know what I mean? But, yeah, so I finally get all those out. I think I'm still taking a few off. But what I'm going to wind up doing is cutting this in half. And I think I'm going to put one at the top and one at the bottom on the orange side. Because obviously if I put this on the black side, you're not going to see it, right? So if I wanted to create texture, but that's sort of hidden or to the back, then I would have cut those and put them on the black side. But I wanted them to stand out, and it adds decoration to the left side of this page. So once I get these last few pieces out, I should be coming up on the last few now. I believe I cut it right in half. Yep. And then I was thinking, do I want to put it behind one of the photos? Then I was thinking up here at the top. And then I like this one down at the bottom. And I was thinking I could just put them straight down. But here's the thing. When it comes to the stickers, you are going to have to put a little bit of glue. I know it sucks. You get a little bit of those, glue boogers on your hands. It's okay. Work it out because it's not going to stay. Even when I lifted it up there, I was like, I can see the sticker starting to lift up some. So you're going to see, if not now, I know it's before I do any of my splattering. I want to say I glue it down so that way it stays. See? Yeah, right in there. I could see it was coming up. So here's me picking it right up, which means it would have fallen off. And I just put enough glue to make sure that it stays down. And the great thing with Bearly Art Glue and Art Glitter Glue is that it dries clear. So even if it's smushes out some, you'll be okay because it's going to dry clear. And then I decided, instead of on the side, let's put this one at the top coming down. And then we'll have the one on the bottom. And then I found these black they're almost like a flat back enamel dot from Doodlebug. And so I'm putting one over on the right side, and then I think I'm putting like, how many does it wind up being? Ooh, I lost it. I don't know where my page is. 5. Yeah, 5 on the other side. I have one over with the eek to tie it in. And then I think I was looking for maybe another one or something else that I could do. And I think I just said, forget it. Like, we'll keep it simple, because those pumpkins, though they would have been cute, they were too cute, you know? So I was like, you know what? We're just going to leave this all spidery, and with the black enamel dots, we have a little bit of ephemera, and it can literally just be that simple. So we're going to cover up the photo, and you know what I do? I get to splattering, okay? So with the yellow and the paper, I'm like, gold is a must. And then I'm going to also I was going to use Dana Wakley, but I decided to grab my white picket fence, or the picket fence. And I didn't switch it for any other reason, and I didn't want to, Dana Wakley's, it can sometimes be hard to clean off your surfaces, because of the makeup of it, because it's a gloss, right? So it's not just white paint that you can, wipe up and be done with it. So it's one of those things where you have to clean right away when you use that. And I don't always clean right away. Like, usually when I'm done, I get up and I walk away from the desk and call it a day. So on each of the side webs, I put just a phrase on each, and then I added a phrase at the bottom of the eek on that side. And then there's your layout. And with putting those little the sticker phrases on, I did put glue behind them and then put them down. And then that's it. I love it. This was fun. So thank you guys so much for joining me. Please consider hitting that like, subscribe, the saying. And leave comments down below if you have any questions. If you guys are around, this is going up on Fridays for Friday's video. Come by and see me with my next video, which should be on Tuesday. So thanks, you guys, and have a great weekend.